Hey guys, welcome back. It's another great day today here at the ranch, and I wanted to get a second video out on the 3D Printing 101 series, which we have been slowly building on and plan to build on throughout the year. Basically today we want to cover software that you're going to need to get started in 3D printing. And if you think about 3D printing software, I'm going to break it down. I think I broke it down into 4 pieces. Number 1, you've got your printer firmware, which is usually Marlin. Now, you know, if you buy a printer off the shelf like a Creality Ender 3 or a CR10 or an Ultimaker, whatever, right? If you buy any of those name brand type printers, you're not gonna have to worry too much about your printer firmware. It's already gonna be on there and it's already gonna be optimized. Just know it's there. Marlin is a open source 3D printing type firmware. I think it's probably also used in some other devices, CNCs, whatever. For your printer, Marlin open source firmware runs on your printer. If you want to get more advanced, you'll need to know that. Just know it's there. Number 2, what we're going to need is some design software. I covered lots of videos on design software, so I'm not going to go too much in depth to that. But the point is, you got to make a 3D object before you can print it. Now, with the internet today, you can go to several sites, right? You can go to Thingiverse, Yagi, any of those other sites to where you can grab a file to 3D print. But the point is, you are going to need an STL file, a stereolithograph file, so you can put that into the next piece of software you're going to need. That 3D object, stereolithograph, STL, that's important, right? Your printer can't understand what an STL is, but that's kind of a universal 3D object file that software will create. Software such as OpenSCAD, FreeCAD, Blender. There's a lot of software. Fusion 360 is another one. Now that's the only software I will mention that is not free, by the way, Fusion 360. But design may be more advanced, or maybe you're coming to 3D printing from a design background. That's why I threw it in there. Point is, you're going to need an STL file. Now once you have that STL file, you need to put that into a language that your printer understands. That software you're going to use for that is called a slicer. Now there are a few different slicers out there. I'm going to cover the first basic one, and that is Ultimaker Cura. Cura is another open source software, so it's free. And most everything you need to get started 3D printing is free, minus the hardware. But Ultimaker Cura is very universally used. It has a lot of predefined printers, predefined profiles to help you convert that STL file into a code that your printer understands, and that's called G-code. Cura is very well supported, so if you're just starting out, I would use Cura to start before you go into other slicers, unless you're familiar with one. Cura is going to have a lot of tweaks and options. I would leave these at the most basic setting to start with if you're new, because you can get yourself in trouble by changing things and not realizing it changed other things. It's a layered approach, right? So stick to a basic one. Now what Cura will do for you is it will set your printing temperature. It will tell your printer what kind of filament you're using. It's going to set all those basic pieces. It's also going to tell it how to move, right? So what it's going to do is take that STL file, slice through it, create a toolpath, and tell your printer how to make that object. Now once you have that converted to your STL file, converted to G-code with your slicer, you just save it to your SD card, you walk it over to your printer, and you hit print. Your printer will heat up, preheat to the desired temperature that your slicer told it to, and then it will start laying down the plastic and create your object. So that's it for the basic 3D printing software that you're going to need. If you have a question or comment, leave it below. If you do things differently, leave it below. This is how I first got started in 3D printing, so I'm trying to lay down like a basic knowledge for anybody new coming in. And if you need a little help, leave a comment. A lot of people will jump in and help out. So thanks for watching, and we will see you next time.